where we explore the practices that connect us deeper to ourselves, our purpose, and the divine. I'm your host, Saima, and today's guest is Rich Lewis, author of Sitting with God, A Journey to Your True Self Through Centering Prayer. As a speaker and coach, Rich empowers people to break through limiting beliefs and accomplish what once felt impossible. His tools, centering prayer, visualization, gratitude, affirmations, and journaling, practices that bring us home to our true self. So, get ready for a conversation that's as grounding as it is expansive. So, Rich, welcome to the show.
Great. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
You're warmly welcome. So, your practice of centering prayer is so powerful. So, for those unfamiliar, how does it differ from other forms of meditation or prayer?
Sure. So centering prayer is considered meditation, but it's also considered d- deepening a relationship with God. So it's considered prayer where we're opening to the presence and actions of God within us, but at the same time we're meditating so that we can open to the presence of the divine within us. So it really is considered meditation, but it's also a way of kind of deepening our relationship with God, with the divine within us.
Hmm. So, was there a moment when centering prayer shifted something profound for you?
You notice that the fruits of centering prayer outside of centering prayer. So during centering prayer, we're simply sitting and opening to the presence and actions of God within, and we're letting go. So it's really outside, and I can describe how you do centering prayer as well, but it's outside of centering prayers where we notice the fruits of the practice. So I've been practicing centering prayer for almost 10 years at this point, and I've noticed that it's done a lot of different things for me. It's given me a lot more confidence. It's given me an excitement for life and what for each day and what will happen each day. It's helped me get out of my comfort zone and try and do new things. It's helped me be a better listener and just listen to people instead of reacting. It's helped me just kind of enjoy the present moment. So those are some fruits that I can think of since I've been practicing where it's really has kind of healed me, transformed me, and just helped me better enjoy and live life.
And that invitation, that silence can be a space of connection, not emptiness, is so reassuring, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
Now, you talk about breaking limiting beliefs. So, how does, combining practices like visualization and affirmation support that inner work alongside centering prayer?
Sure. So they're good complements to centering prayer. So, for example, affirmations, I will kind of speak them as I go into my silent sit with God, and then I kind of give them to God and go into my silent sit and let them brew with God, if you will. And I'll even do the same thing with visualizations as right before I go into my silent meditative sit. I'll also visualize even the day. Like, how do I want the day to go? What things do I want to get done? So I actually will partner them with centering prayer. So I do them, I guess, right before my silent meditative sit. Well, I'll speak my affirmations and then let them go into the silence. And then while I'm in the silence, for a minute or two, I'm visualizing with my eyes closed, how I want the day to go and the things that I want to get done. And then I let go of my visualization and then I go into my silent sit. So for me, I kind of I kind of partner them with my centering prayer practice, and they begin my practice, and then I go into my silent sit after I've done both of them.
Mm-hmm. So, is there a daily ritual that blends these tools together for you?
For me, and that's how they've worked for me. And maybe in a year or 2 years, maybe it'll shift. But right now, it's worked well for me. Where I do them prior to my centering prayer sit. So visualization and affirmations, I do them prior to my sits. Affirmations, though, I can do them all throughout the day as well. So they're not necessarily just with my centering prayer sits. I can speak affirmations at any point during the day just to really self motivate myself.
That blend, that inner stillness and intentional thought work hand in hand is so practical.
Agree. Agree. I mean, I,
Mhm.
I think of it as just a good partnership and complementary practices to my centering prayer.
So gratitude and journaling are like often recommended, right? So like they can feel surface level for some. So how do you approach these practices so they lead to real transformation?
Sure. So for gratitude, I like to do kind of in the morning. I might be, I might say what I'm grateful for, what I'm going to accomplish. Where maybe it hasn't happened yet, but I'll say something along the lines of I'm grateful for the productive day I will have and the things I will get accomplished. And then at the end of the night, like before I go to bed, I drop to my knees and I thank God for all the small, medium, and large things that happened to that day, whether it was the productive day, the nice cup of coffee I had with my wife, the walk I took, or the time I spent with my kids. I like to drop to my knees and just be grateful for everything that happened. And I like to go to bed with gratitude and make that the last thing really on my mind before I fall asleep. So gratitude, and then even at any point during the day, you can shift your mood with gratitude. So if you're anxious or you're worried or you're angry, you can instantly shift your mood by simply being grateful for um, the moment and the things that you got done so far. So gratitude, not only at the end of the night before I go to bed, so that that's really the last thing I'm thinking about, but at any point during the day, I can speak out loud to myself what I'm grateful for so that I can instantly shift my mood from one of, negativity or worrying or anxiety to really being more grateful for the day and what it can bring to me.
And that depth, that gratitude isn't just a list but a lens that really resonates.
Say that one more time, please.
hmm that gratitude isn't just a list but a lens that really resonates.
Right. It's a lens in a way of looking at life itself and just being grateful for the moment and the sun and the beautiful weather or even the rain, or the food you're eating or just the friends you have. So there's always things around you that you can be grateful for.
Hmm, absolutely. Now, your book is called Sitting with God. So, what does it mean to, sit with God in today's fast paced world, and how does that practice, help people find their true self?
Sure. So, and that's really what centering prayer is. It's a silent sit with God. During centering prayer, we sit silently and we let go of our thoughts and emotions and come back to the present moment. So with what we and how you practice centering prayers, you sit comfortably with your eyes closed. To begin your practice interiorly, you think of a sacred word, um, uh, or you could picture an image in your head. So the word could be ocean or love or Jesus, or you could picture an image in your head. And so whenever you're sitting there silently and you begin to engage your thoughts, you introduce this word interiorly to come back to the present moment and the purpose of your sit, which is really just to sit with God, let go of you, let go of your thoughts, and continuously return to God in the present moment. And that's really how
Mhm.
you do centering prayer. And I think a lot of people will say that I don't have time to meditate, I don't have time just to sit. What you'll notice if you've tried the practices, it has a way of giving you back time. So for me, that's how I start my day. I start my day with what I call a silent sit with God, and then I begin my day after that. And then later in the day, in the early afternoon, I'll actually take a second sit and really I found it just these silence the first sit starts my day and prepares me for the day, and then the second sit helps is kind of like a reset button and helps me finish the second half of the day as strongly as the first part of the day. So these sits just have a way of resetting you or starting you and helping you continue to return to the present moment and focus on the tasks that need to be done. But you have to try it for yourself. So for this, some people will say, I don't have time to do this, but it really has a way of giving you back time and helping you to be more productive during the day.
And that insight, Rich, that sitting still, we meet our truest self is such a beautiful reminder for sure.
Say that one more time, please.
That insight, that in sitting still, we meet our truest self is such a beautiful reminder.
Right. Because what happens is we're letting go of thoughts and emotions, and often these thoughts and emotions are things we tell ourselves that are not true, that I'm not confident, or not that, or I don't have the right skill set, or that I'm the wrong person to do that task. We're letting go of all the things we tell ourselves that are not true, and underneath all of that is really our true self, and the person we can be and the actions that we can take. So for me, centering prayer connects me to my true self and the actions I need to take, and helps me let go of the things I tell myself that really are just not true at all. They're just fear and lack of confidence and worry and anxiety. None of that is me and what I can do and accomplish each day. Underneath all of that is my true self, and the amazing day I can have and the amazing things that I can accomplish.
hmm Now, for someone listening who feels trapped by their own limiting beliefs, what's one gentle first step they can take today toward breaking free?
I guess I would challenge people to try, a meditative centering prayer type of practice. So I would challenge them to, set a goal of just they're going to try meditation for a 30-day period. They're going to make it the first thing they do before they begin their day, and even just make it 5 minutes so that it doesn't seem that difficult. And just try beginning your day in silence for 5 minutes for a 30-day period, and just seeing what happens. And then at the end of the 30-day period, you can reevaluate, you know, how did I feel? How did this possibly change me? And do I want to continue this practice, and not only continue it, but maybe make my sits longer than 5 minutes, make them 10 minutes or 15 minutes. But I just challenge people to take a daily dose of silence for 30 days and see what happens.
hmm So, is there a simple, centering or visualization exercise you'd like to suggest for beginners?
Say that one more time, please.
Yeah, sure. Is there a simple centering or visualization exercise you'd like to suggest for beginners?
Um, well, I guess exactly what I said. I would encourage people to try for 30 days a meditative practice of at least 5 minutes. And then maybe what they could even do after the meditative practice is journaling, because you can sit and meditate, and then outside of your meditative practice, you can journal, and journaling is a great way of becoming more self-aware of yourself and how you feel. You can also journal your anxiety and worries. You can journal your goals that you want to set. So the combination of like both of them together are a great morning practice where you're meditating, and then after your meditation practice, you're journaling and just becoming really more self-aware. And then after a 30-day period, you can kind of look back at your daily journals, and you'll learn a lot about yourself.
That encouragement, Rich, that it all begins with showing up is so empowering, right?
Right, right, and that's really the most important thing is just showing up and trusting the meditation process, and then just showing up and trusting the journaling process, where you don't necessarily know what you're going to type or what you're going to write if you handwrite your journals, and just showing up and seeing what happens, and showing up and seeing what journaling prompts come out of you. In some cases, you don't know what you're going to journal. In other cases, maybe you use journaling prompts that are questions, and then you're answering the questions.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Rich, you reminded us that breaking through limiting beliefs doesn't require force, it requires presence, whether it's centering prayer, gratitude, or affirmations. These practices create space for possibility, purpose, and peace. So, all your listeners, here's the invitation: sit in silence, connect within, and trust that the path to true self is already unfolding.
No, that would be great. So I just encourage people to try a meditative practice. Try some journaling, and it'll help them kind of let go of who they are not, and many of the things you're letting go of really are your limiting beliefs, the things you tell yourself that are just not true, and then behind them is your true self, and and the person you can be, and all of the amazing things that you can do and accomplish that you never realized.